Alright guys, so we're back in action. And today we're just talking about my 4 favorite lures for fishing in the fall. And basically I got them laid out right here. We got the morning bait is what I like to call it, because that's, best in the morning, but if it's cloudy all day you can use it then. It is your buzz bait, the one that catches the most fish for me, especially with these shad popping and moving around everywhere. The rattle trap. It's, as you've seen in the last video, it caught the biggest fish of the day, which was 4 pounds and some change, and it catches volume as well. The third is going to be the old spinner bait. And the big thing to keep in mind is natural colors right now, just with, you're targeting the bait fish, which is migrating at the moment, and the bass are seeing that, so you just want to keep it simple and stay to natural colors. So we'll just start with my least favorite for the fall transition, but it's still a good one nonetheless. It is the trusty Texas rig and trick style worm. So this is good pretty much all year round, and so you got to have it on the list. This is definitely a top 4 all year, but if you don't have it, get you some. It catches fish. It doesn't have to be a trick worm. It just works a little bit better in the fall transition than a stick bait does, but you know how it is. Stick baits catch lots of fish consistently throughout the year, so it's always a good bait to have tied on. That rod and reel pretty much stay that way all the time, unless there's a chatterbait on it, because that is my lower gear ratio reel. So this would be your third best option, spinner bait. We just like a Colorado blade and a willow for the fall. They just seem to like it just that much better. With a natural swim bait, just natural-ish, something to imitate those bait fish is all we're after in the fall transition. So this is a perfect setup. White with a little bit of gray, and then the flash, gets them thinking that's a fish when it's not. So we're also going to talk about knots here in a minute, but let me just show you the rattle trap. And this one is just, like I said in my last video also, this is a classic. I've had this thing since I was 16. I'm 31 now. Can't believe it. I'm getting there. But it's just juice. Like I said, since I was 16, this thing still does work. Saw in the last video, it caught a 4 pound, I want to say it was 3 ounce fish, which was the best one for the day. We had 8 fish total in a 2-hour period, so that was a good day fishing anyway, especially with how cold it was. And I did take a tumble, not trying to get in my yak, but adjusting my stuff when I first got there. So I wasn't even in the mood to fish after that, but I mean, that changed pretty quickly once I started hooking up on them. And I did start hooking up on them on this guy here, the buzzbait. Really not a fan of buzzbaits. I usually fish, this year mostly for topwater, I've been fishing a whopper plopper. I've just had a lot of luck with it this year, so that's what I've stuck to. But usually I just stick to a popping bait or some type of frog, which a frog is good for the fall transition as well. But when you're really talking about attracting bass for those bait fish, you just can't beat the buzz bait. The noise it makes, paired up with the swim bait, it just makes it look so real. They can't resist it. This thing put in some work last time out, and it just, it really opened my eyes to the old buzz bait, because it does a really good job imitating. Now, like I said, I'm just sticking to natural colors, so that's why this one is white. I have a black one that I generally will throw in the summertime, but that one killed it last time out. And this is just a Guggen's bait. I want to say it's a 3/8 ounce, but it looks good and it sounds amazing. And then just a paddle tail swim bait to trick the fish, to make them think it's real. So those are your top four, and this is going to be number one volume, but this could easily be your number one in the morning time for sure. I have this one particularly on a really fast reel. It's a 2-to-1, because you want to be able to get it out there and get it on top of the water as quick as possible, especially whenever you're, fishing up against some lily pads. You don't want to get hung up on that stuff. You throw it out there, get to cranking, it's up on top of the water. This one is also on a fast reel just because where I fish, and a lot of the places around my area, Northeast Texas, has a lot of grass, the ponds and the lakes that I fish. So this one is on a 8-to-2 gear ratio, so just on the fast side of the spectrum for reels anyway. And that way you just don't get a bunch of stuff on your hooks, because I hate wasting time. And then this one is a 5-to-1, I think. I want to be able to work that bait slow and a little bit faster. That's why it's on the faster side of the spectrum. 5-to-1, I believe. Just in case, the fish aren't hidden down low, we can reel it nice and slow and still get it down low. Or if they're hitting closer to the top of the water, if the buzzbait shows us that early, we can switch to the spinnerbait and speed it up, get it up close to the top of the water, and get those fish hidden, but in a different part of the water column. And then, like I said, if at any time it gets tough, we got the worm. But now, I just want to show y'all, per request of a viewer, our two favorite knots. Now, first one I'm going to show you is probably the strongest knot. It is just the classic Polymer knot, and I like to use it on pretty much everything if I have time, and I'll explain more on the time later. But for now, all you're gonna do is make a loop in your line, put it through the eye. Some people do this different. It ends up being the same, but you just want to put that loop right through there. Grab these two together. All right, now we got those two together. You want to put this one on top of this one, put it through the hole you've made, pull that loop through, and then you just want to pull your lure through the hole. So we'll put it through the hole. This is the lure that caught the 4-3, and it's on fluoro, so it needed to be retied anyway, so it works out for the both of us. Easy knot for y'all, and I get retied and ready for the next time I get to go out. So it's been raining and stuff, so we haven't been able to, but once you get it through there, you just pull. And as always with fluoro or any kind of knot you tie, you want to be able to cinch it down, and a little bit of saliva helps. I just give it a good lick, and that's it. Cinch it down, pull that, make sure it's tight, get your tag, and then you just want to cut it down. Plugging my pliers in there. I don't want to get it down too low in case we get a big fish, but I don't like to leave it real long either. But that is the finished product, and that is a good strong knot just because it has the double line going through the eye there. That's a nice knot for that lure, so I'm just gonna leave that one on, and we'll just retie this one. Buzzbait. It did have a Polymer on it, but I'm just gonna show you my other knot. My cousin taught me this knot one time while I was out in California, and if it's good enough for the sea, I figure it's good enough for the bass, right? So this is my quick knot, and I say that because it's a little bit faster than tying the Polymer, but you just pull it through, get your tag, and then you make it a loop again, and you're just gonna thread it through there, your tag line, through the hole. 1, 2, 3. I think I missed that time. 3 and 4. So you just put it through there 4 times. You'll see the knot form in there. Apply your lube, pull it tight. That one's faster. I call that the old lady, because when your old lady lets you go fish, you ain't got a lot of time and you got to, change different baits, and you don't have a lot of time to fish. That's your old lady knot. Now there's one that's just a little bit faster, but this knot, I really have to be in a hurry or just feeling lazy to tie this one, just because I don't feel like it's as strong as even that second knot. Definitely not as strong as the polymer, but it's the easiest, and it gets the job done for the most part. So you just put it through, same as the second knot. All right. This one really doesn't matter how long you have your tag or anything, and you just spin your bait around. Spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it, until your heart is content. And you see that line starts to twist. While that line's twisted, you get your tag in, and you put it through the hole down here. And then that is it. Pull it tight, you got a knot. See, for some reason, if you don't put enough twist in it, it'll just pull right out. That time it snapped actually, so I don't know if my line's just brittle or what. But that's your absolute like last resort knot. So we'll just go with the one that I learned from my cousin, and we'll just put it through, make a loop, and then we'll put it through there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can put more through there if you want. I mean, I would say 4 is the minimum, and I wouldn't go more than 6. But that's a real strong knot. Like I said, not as strong as the polymer, just because you don't have double line going through. But I used this knot for a long time, and it's never failed me. So that's a good one to know when you're in a hurry and the wifey got you on a time limit. But that's just a few of my favorite knots. Really, if I have the time, which I usually do, I try to tie everything on the day before I go fishing, and I always tie on the polymer, unless it's something awkward. Like this lure is kind of awkward, so when you go to make that loop and you want to put the lure back through it, it kind of gets in the way. So it's easier to tie that second knot I showed, and then like I said, that third one is just last resort, really fast, and that'll catch you some fish, and it'll keep them on for sure. And like I said, it's your 1 through 4 buzzbait, rattle trap, spinnerbait, and the old Texas rig with the trick worm. But that is definitely what you need to be throwing throughout the fall, and just make sure you're imitating a shad. So you ain't got to get crazy with your colors. Keep it simple, keep it natural, and go catch some fish. Thank y'all for watching. See you in the next one.